Alright, in this video we are going to see how to create a plugin that will change the scroll bar color, the scroll bar width and the thumb color. The thumb is nothing but you see the black section is the thumb and the background of the scroll bar is blue now, and I have made the width of the scroll bar 15 pixel. So these settings that you can get it with a plugin, and once you install a plugin you will see this link on the dashboard, CS menu. CS is nothing but custom scroll bar. As you click on this menu you'll be able to see the fields. So here we have width, the background color and the thumb. Let's just make this to, let's say, 35% to see the difference, and I want to make the background color as orange and the thumb color to be red. So if I click on save changes, by the way, these settings can also be found in the WP option table. As you see, you will find a WP option somewhere here, and these data are getting fetched from the database. And since we have changed the color to orange, background color to orange, and the thumb color to be red and the width to be 35, these values will get reflected in the front end. To make a visual difference between the previous screen and the current screen, I have made the width as 35 pixel, and you see the thumb color is orange and the background color for the scroll bar is red. So these settings, these CSS are applied behind the screen with the help of CSS. And let's just search for orange. I forgot the name, or else we can have you can see these are the scroll bar CSS that I applied on the head section. And yes, as I said, these values are getting fetched from the database and getting displayed over here, and these reflections, these code in the head section make us see the scroll bar with this different color. So the point is clear. The tutorial we are about to start now. I have demonstrated how this plugin is about to work, and how the database is getting in the database where the data is getting saved, and from where it is getting fetched also I have shown. Now let's just see what are the steps that we need to do. First of all, we need to create an admin menu. So you'll see this admin menu, we'll see how to create it with these. This is a hook and this is a function, and you'll see a settings group. So these fields, these are called setting fields. These settings field are inside a settings section. So these are the settings section. So we'll be creating a settings section over here. In this section we'll be using this function, and inside the settings section we will be having a group. So this is one, these are the group of the input field. So these group that we have to create with the help of this hook and this function. And as said, we are going to get the value from the database. So these are the values from the database with the help of get option, and that's what I have mentioned here. And finally, how to display these CSS in the front end. So these are the roadmap for this tutorial that we are going to cover in this video. So let's just start. So for the very first thing, that we want our plugin to show up over here. Let me deactivate this first. For that, what you have to do is you have to get into your folder. Let me just press Ctrl O. Since it's the plugin development tutorial, I believe that you are familiar with the WordPress structure. Since I am using XAMPP, we are inside htdocs, and this is my folder name, and this is the WP content folder, and inside the WP content we'll be having a plugin folder, and inside the plugin folder we'll be having a plugin called V1. So let's just create another plugin. So let me just create a folder. Here we'll just name it as CS. CS is nothing but the custom scroll bars. You can have any name as you wish. And inside the CS folder I want to create a new file. So let me just open this folder into my Visual Studio Code. Let me just close this and Control O again, CS, and click on open. it's better that we open a plugin file. So here you find an option called open folder. A plugin is okay, select folder. Since we have created a folder called CS, it is recommended to have a file inside the CS folder. So this file is going to be a PHP file, and this PHP file should have a naming convention similar to your folder name. So since we have given the folder name as CS, I'm going to stick to that as well. Now this is enough to show your plugin in this folder, in this page. Now you see the CS what you have given is shown up. Now what you have to do is you have to configure your plugin. So what do you mean by configure? You see this previous it doesn't have any. Let me just close it. The first thing that plugin need to have is a comment. So this is the name of the plugin. Let's just say custom scrollbar, and this is from the previous tutorial, and you can give any about CS plugin, and this is the version, and this is the author name. Since you configured it, you should able to see your CS plugin with the configured data. Custom scrollbar is the name that you have given, and we have CS. This is about the description that is coming from, and this is the version, and this is the name of the author. The next thing that we have to do is we need to show our menu over here like the CS menu. So for that what you have to do is you need to add a hook to the function. So let's create a let's call a hook which is wp underscore menu, and the function that we are going to do is create menu. Let's just define the function, and inside this function we'll be using this function from the WordPress. Let me just show you what it does. So this function will help you to display your menu on the sidebar. So it's asking for the page title, so I have given the page title as CS menu and the menu title as CS menu. The menu is where your dashboard, you will see your dashboard over here. So this text is coming from this field, and the manage option is nothing but we will be able to store our option in the WP table. That's the capability that the user should have, and this is the menu. This is nothing but the URL that you show on the page. So this is a page, and in the slug you will see menu hyphen slug, and then we have the callback function, and this is the icon URL. Sorry, this is nothing but the icon. You see this is a pie chart, and that is coming from this section. Now what you need to do is we need to create a callback function. Let's just define a callback function, and inside the callback function you need to define this need to be shown once I click on this page. So for that what we need a section, we need these setting fields, and we need a submit button. So that's what I'm going to do now. So we have a form with option.php as an action, and the method is post, and the form ends here. You'll see the submit button over here. As I said, we need a field group. So these input field are in a field group. We need to create that, and then we need to call the section. So this section is coming from the slug which we have used. Make sure the slug name is common, or else you won't see this. Now what we need to do is we need to define our section. We need to define our fields. So for the first thing we need to define our fields. So what is a field? Field is nothing but what you see here. This is width field, this is background color field, this is thumb color field. These field need to be registered in the WordPress, so that these values get stored in the WP option table. So for that we have to call a hook. Here in this case we'll be calling a admin init hook, and the function that would be triggered is this. as said, we need to register the settings. So register settings, these are the field group. As I said, these input field should be inside one group. So the one group that I'm going to define is the field group, and we can just mention it as width. We can just mention it as VG color and then the thumb color. Now what we need to do? We need to register a section. So that we can have our input field inside the sections. Now let me just show you how this section is created. What are the fields that we need to create this section? The ID that I am giving is CS section. The title, you see this title is coming from this field, and null is for the description. If you need some description over here, you can have a function here. I'm leaving it as it is. And the slug, the page slug is nothing but the page URL. And after the section is created, what we need is the individual fields. These individual fields can be achieved with the function add setting field. Let me just call this. So we need to define the ID, we need to give the title, the callback function, the slug, and the section. That's it. So let me just create those. So as said, this is the function that will define the input field inside the form section. So this is the ID, and this is the description of the input field, or you can see the label. You can see width, background color, thumb color is coming from these fields, second field, or you can say second argument, and these are the callback functions. We'll be defining this, and this is the page URL, and this is the function which we have defined. So inside this section I want these fields. That's what the last parameter is for. Now we have to define these individual functions. So this callback function will get the value from the table called WP option, and inside the WP option there is a field called CS width, or just say width. I think we would have a name conflict if we just leave as it is. So let's just say width hyphen CS. Get option, this is the column name in the table, and I'll be getting this into the variable. I'm pasting it. This is the default value. If nothing is pasted, you just give 5 pixel. The same way I have to do it for the rest of the function, since these are the callback function, and these are done. Now these things are enough to show your input field. Since you have activated it, you should see a menu. It's a plugin. This is not WP menu, it's admin menu, and there are some issues in the functions which we have created. BG color, thumb color. Yes, it's VG color over here, and this is thumb color. And to prevent the duplicate name issue, I have renamed it from the previous plugin. That's why it's causing this issue. You see this CS menu has shown up. It's because of this. Let's just name it as scrollbar. Let's see the difference. You see scrollbar. If you click on it, you will see a section. Inside the section you have field group. So that field group name is nothing but the field group which I have made it straightforward. And then these fields are coming from the get option. If there is no option, then it will create it. And let's just see whether we have our value saved in the table or not. So I have named this as width. You see these are the values: CS width, VG color, and thumb color has shown up. Now since we are able to store the values inside the database, so let me just change it and show you. Let's just make this something different. Background color as purple and the thumb color as black, and let this be 20, and click on save. And these data should get reflected into the WP-option table It's over here. Refresh it. Let me just search for it. You see purple, black and 20 pixel has shown up. Now we need to fetch these value into the front end. So for that we'll be using an hook called WP head, and we have to fix the CSS first. So to fix the CSS, so when this hook is called, this function will get attached to this hook, and this is the CSS that need to run. But we need to fetch these values. So how are we going to fetch these values? Simply with these options. And these value will get populated over here. And as your plugin is activated, let's see a sample page, purple and black with 20 pixel width, and let's just change the value to orange as a thumb color, and you should see the thumb color turn from purple to orange. Sorry, I think I have changed the background color to thumb color is orange. Actually there's a problem here. Okay, here it should be background color and here it should be thumb color. Now it would work. Cool. Likewise, you can play with these options in the dashboard with this link on the sidebar. These are the settings. Here we have seen how to add menu on the dashboard sidebar, and then how to create a section so that we can link this section to the slug. And inside the section we need to create a field group. So these field group will hold all the input field, and these setting field are linked to the slug. Again here menu slug, and we have created a form, and on clicking on save changes you will see the data to be submitted on which option.php with the post method. And that's it. Meet you in the another tutorial of a little complex plugin, WordPress plugin. So we will be incrementing our skills step by step. We are not going to touch the mountain at first. We'll be picking the stones, very small stones. As day passes, we'll collect these stones and make it a mountain. That's the point of the video. I hope this is episode number 8 or 9 something. The plan of creating this tutorial is to have an incremental growth. Plan of uploading video every day. But since this is a plugin tutorial, it needs some complex logic. We will be posting our tutorial every Wednesday and every Sunday.